lot of theater as a child and as a student. I had a rock band during the East Village period. I studied painting at Bennington College, so there was definitely a lot of making of stuff, making of art on my own. What I wanted to do was get to know the art world some shape or form, and so I accepted this internship at Thibaut Gallery. And by the time I was out of school, I was already working as guest curator for the Mint Museum in Charlotte to put together a retrospective of Maurice Goluboff, who was a painter then represented by that gallery. So I quickly morphed from being a gallery assistant part-time person to trying to establish my credentials in whatever way I could in the New York art world of the early 80s. I used to think that I knew a lot about Southern California art, but now that I'm here and being in part of this community, there's a whole lot of work that's coming onto my radar that I either didn't know about or I was misinformed about, or I just didn't have a clear impression. So I like the idea that, among other things, I'm learning, I'm absorbing all of this, to me, extremely valuable information about like what's the art in this part of the world like, and why, where does it come from? I think the biggest piece of advice I would give to artists who are getting going right now is to look around the artists that just kind of give a good, critical, objective, kind of summary study of all the artists around you, and align yourself with the ones whose work you feel the strongest connection with, and as much as possible, try to do things collectively. It's one of the things I really learned from New Orleans, is that when these artists didn't have anything at all, at least they had each other, and through kind of joining forces, they really got the attention, not just of me or other curators, but they got the attention of the entire city. I've been to far too many studios that were beautifully designed and appointed where the work really wasn't anything at all, and quite a few studios that were very, very modest, where the work being made in those studios was really quite inspiring. So I only want to see what the artist makes in the studio that they value as their creative vision. I don't need to know that they can also draw a bowl of apples, or that they can, work with a page layout software. That's not really of any interest to me. Well, I don't know, if I was a young artist, I would seriously consider New Orleans. It's a very, it's a city that happens to have a low cost of living and a very high quality of life. And I think for artists, that's a very nice balance, that it doesn't cost an arm and a leg to live there, but you can create a very nice life for yourself. It also has the art world is a real community there, and people are very welcoming and nurturing and non-competitive with each other. More and more art communities are basing, their productions are geared for export. Berlin is a perfect example. I mean, right. Berlin imports almost no art at all. It has very few collectors of significance. It has a handful of pretty wild museums, and thousands and thousands of artists, including many who are very, 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 very successful. And so I think that there's now this kind of growing awareness that although every artist wants to have, a big success, and you want to have a big success in your hometown, more and more artists, when they have success, are encountering it thousands of miles away from where they live. If an artist is not able to get, really a base of support in the place that they happen to be living, then, they should maybe consider moving to a place where their artwork is going to be more embraced. The nomadic life is really very much a reality for artists today. And I think part of that has to do with not being appreciated in your hometown. That happens so often, and to so many artists of all kinds, that you may be big in Europe, or you might be big in Japan, but nobody knows you on the street on the block where you live.